guys, welcome to today's episode of Loving Life podcast with myself, Carol McGee, and
Debbie Collins.
So today we're joined by Reilly's Gaff. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome. Man. And so you are
Evan,
Jamie.
So the two of you turned up with matching outfits today. Was there a memo went out?
No, it's happened multiple times. I was saying in the future we need to phone each other before it and say, like, no, like what you wearing, like don't wear this.
Do you know what? I think people that go on well together, and we did that, didn't we? We've done that a few times. We turned up to a photo shoot with black gear on and like a brownie camel coloured jackets on, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And no deliberate. And the photos turned out lovely, if I don't say so myself.
Who wore it best, but
I think it was obviously me.
That's the uniform, innit? It's the uniform. I'd say like grey joggies are like essential.
To be fair, this is kind of all we wear anyway. There's no much variation, so
maybe some colour variation. But
I asked you to come on to our podcast because my daughter's a massive fan of yous, right? Because forgive me, boys, but I didn't know who Reilly's Gaff was. So I'm kind of thinking yous appeal to a younger crowd, right? So I know that yous are massive in Glasgow and you've got a huge following. And Holly says, Mum, it's just like listening to her brother Brian. He's like listening to Brian and his mates in the room talking shit. And she says, I watch podcasts and nobody makes me laugh, but they too do. And I thought, that's really good. And she's like, I pissed myself laughing. She's like, and it's not a lot of people that's get the sense of humour is me. And I says, have they got a sixth sense of humour? I mean, you know, so I listened to it and I did like your podcast and I see how you are growing in this area. So you've got a good rapport happening, boys. So how long have you been at this? Tell us.
How long? Four maybe 3-4 years, something like that.
Well, as long as that?
Because before we started, like I honestly met Jamie for the first time before we started our podcast about 2 weeks before I started, because I wasn't meant to do it with Jamie at first. Basically, G4 Studios, they offered me the chance to start a podcast because I used to do like wee sketches on Instagram and stuff.
Oh, right, okay.
And I had a wee following off that. And then they messaged me, they were starting a studio. Do you want to start a studio? You can use it for nothing as long as you advertise G4. And I was like, a podcast? I don't know. And I was like, what will I talk about? I don't know. And then I kind of thought there was like, as you said, your daughter said that there was like it's like listening to two people talking in a room. It's not really like a sort of formal chat. And I thought there's no many podcasts here that really do that. And then I met Jamie like randomly 2 weeks before I started the podcast, and we got on instantly.
Just clicked.
It was really weird, man.
That's mad because she's come across as like pure childhood friends.
So everybody thinks that, man. It's weird when we tell people.
But
everybody's always like,
mates.
So you're like Glasgow's answer to Ant and Dec.
Oh, we've got that beef with Ant and Dec.
I've got big time beef with Ant and Dec because they win present.
I was listening to this and you were ranting about it. They win like the TV award thing.
They win present of the year. They've won it 23 times, right? See if you win something 23 times.
I know why.
After 20 times, you maybe need to go on and just maybe get it to somebody else.
That's a bit already.
Lionel Messi's got like 6 Ballon d'Ors and they've got 23 of the best presenter in Britain. But how's that even possible?
Plus,
they don't even do it.
They do the exact same shows.
I'm not trying to be funny, but see if it was used to and you're like best podcast of the year, 20 years in a row, you're like, right boys, you need to stop now. You'd be like, fuck
I know.
I'm 21.
I've no beef with Ant or Dec, I'll be honest with you. I've got beef with, I think they're like locked into some mad wild lifetime contract with like the Jungle and like Saturday Night Takeaway and that. I feel like they are choking to get out. It's
like they want to just go feral.
They want to go and like, I don't know,
it's
be
like,
on like
see when I watched the Philip Schofield thing, I thought he was going to dish some dirt because I feel as if he's making it as if like when you're in that, was he the BBC? Who's he with?
It was ITV.
This more ITV. Like he's making it as if it's like a pure cult and you're not allowed to.
Was that the Ireland thing? I've not seen that.
So I watched like a YouTuber watching that and he was like, I watched it so you don't need to. It's the oddest thing I've ever seen, man.
Wild,
he keeps
I've seen a wee
jokes.
advert for it and that was it, but I've not watched it.
See, what did he do about it? See the boy he was going to, was he underage? Because I don't think he's done anything wrong.
I think he was grooming him when he was underage, I think.
Oh, was
he met him when the boy was 13.
Okay, that's wrong.
That's when he first met. There's a picture of him and he's like at the boy's school or something and they're in a picture together. So he obviously met him when he was 13.
Right.
And then They didn't
Fucked
start.
him.
They didn't become official until he was 16. No, do you know? So it's all right.
No, they became Facebook official when he was about 16, 17. Can I hang out?
Right, because he was kind of making it as if it hadn't done anything wrong. He's like, I know one's in like the ITV or whatever that have done worse. I'm like, right,
So
tell us.
anyway, back to this. Right, let's not get off tangent. So the podcast's been going for a wee while. So obviously me and Debbie are quite new to this. We've only filmed about maybe 10 podcasts or something. So we're just babies compared to you two, right? So what advice would you give us for like longevity?
I would honestly say make sure you're doing stuff and talking about stuff that you enjoy, because like cause it's like you do stuff outside of this. So like we both work full time, so it can't become like a chore. It needs to become something that you're looking forward to all the time. It's like, because we've been through phases where you have maybe you're kind of lost and you're like, who should we get on as a guest? People know the aim, but then it might not be who you actually want to get on. It's more just like, oh, you think people will want to watch them, and then that's when it starts sort of becoming a chore.
It's pure interviewing rather than...
Well, it was like, I used to have my own radio show.
Oh, really?
With Gary Marshall and that. I had it for 2 years. It's like a phone in and all that. First 5 minutes, boom, booked, right? And I'm like, oh, here we go for the next 2 years. So I was kind of felt by the end of it, I was still doing that radio show for my ego. And I was getting up a Monday night to do that. So that became a chore for me and I gave it up, right?
Aye.
And at the point when I was getting up, he's like, oh my God, you're pure natural on the radio. I'll get your own radio show. And I'm like, see, at the time I know, the only thing I wanted to do, and I wasn't even into it, but I was getting into it, was country. And I thought, there isn't a country show like anywhere in Scotland or England. I know it is now. They've got absolute country now, but they didn't at the time. And so I wanted to start that up, like a country show. And I'd have probably done all right with it, but I just couldn't commit to it.
What if Absolute go... Why do Absolute have like 20 different stations? It's like Absolute 70s, 80s, 90s,
They've
country,
covering all bases.
rock, because just like, we'll just do it all. Know what I mean?
Aye, but it's owned by a newspaper group.
Planet Radio or something?
Rupert
Global
Murdoch.
or something? Aye, it'll be that Rupert.
So when I was doing that, then it was bought over by the people that own the Sun.
Oh, is it? Aye. That is Rupert Murdoch, isn't it?
Don't know.
Aye, it is.
That's
You-
what it is,
aye.
but you're right about the country thing, because now, like,
It's becoming.
Aye, it's everywhere.
like
That's it.
country is like the sort of popular music that a lot of people
Aye,
listen. Like
aye.
who's like Zach
Well,
Bryan.
obviously we were talking earlier on and I was saying to Jamie that I stay in Erskine, right? And we were talking about that earlier on. So Erskine anthem between all the young boys in Erskine is Wagon Wheel.
Is it?
You know,
Aye.
the country tune,
Aye.
Wagon Wheel. Well, they all sing it, didn't they, Holly? Half of them are in my house at New Year, and as soon as that came on, they just all erupted. They're all running about.
That is
singing
a
That's
tune.
like the national anthem,
That's a tune.
Erskine.
That's like Erskine. That's like Erskine. You know, like
What
bits and
is it?
pieces is like the national anthem when it comes to dance tunes in Scotland.
Aye.
I don't know, he's a wee
Rock
blast.
me, mama, like a wagon
tune?
wheel. Rock me, mama,
That is
anyway
a
you
tune.
feel.
The Erskine anthem.
Hey,
Oh, I never knew that.
mama, rock me.
On your
Erskine's
yourself.
quite a mythical place to me.
Aye.
I don't know much about Erskine,
Aye.
apart from the bridge.
The
See,
big
when we
world
moved
famous
to, I'm
bridge.
originally from Clydebank, right? But
Right.
see, when we moved to Erskine, we've been in there for 25 years now. And I say to people, Erskine's the best place to live, like, you know, geographically wise, because I'm 5 minutes to Paisley, I'm 5 minutes to Greenock, I'm 5 minutes to Clydebank, 5 minutes to Toon. And see, when I moved to Erskine, everybody's like, oh my God, why have you moved to Erskine? It's like out in the middle of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? What would you? Who wants to move to Erskine? And I'm like,
I've never really thought that. I don't know. I feel like Erskine's just down the road a wee bit. You know what I mean?
You're right with the geographical thing, because you're like,
right there, boom, right in the middle.
aye,
of it.
If that Erskine Bridge is shut, you're fucked. They're opening that new bridge, Tam. Or is it opened?
It's open, but it opens officially at the end. You can walk
Aye,
across
that's
it.
going to be handy.
So there's a new bridge that goes from Renfrew to Yoka.
Oof.
Can you imagine going over there at
gotta
night?
be carnage,
That's a mythical
Yeah,
place, by the
yeah,
way.
Don't know. Imagine the bus going across there, like number 42 getting across that
Aye.
bridge. Do you know what I mean? So I feel Yoka to Renfrew.
there's a pure influx of bridges been built in, like walking, because there's one for Govan, a Partick.
There's one for
Aye.
Sight Hill to the Toon.
Oh, this is getting too much.
I know, but what's that all about? There's one for Sight Hill to the Toon. They
It's
not
all-
got to paint that.
It's all rusty in it.
Aye,
I've
do
got to
you
paint
no,
that.
do you know about this?
No.
Is it a boat?
So see what they've made that bridge out of, right?
Uh-huh.
It's the same thing. I think they made the Empire State Building it out. So the longer that rusts, it starts to glow green. So seeing like 100 years, that'll be like bright green. That's
I
why
don't
it's
know
all
if that's
rusty.
a good colour for
No, the
Glasgow.
Empire State Building. Do you mean the
Aye,
Statue
sorry,
of
I always get
Liberty?
mixed up with
Aye.
names.
Do you mean
Aye.
bright green with like moss or
It
something?
oxidises or
It
something. It's
oxidises,
iron,
aye.
and it goes that. Know how like the Statue of Liberty?
Oh, like that.
It's that pale green colour. it's like that. It's like these chairs. So these lovely chairs right
These
here.
are grey. Do you know that? She's already called it green.
That's like that picture of that dress, isn't it? Like the golden. I think they look
That's
green
what
to
these
me.
chairs are like.
That dress
What
was
you saying
like
green?
that
You're
dress.
green. I think it's grey.
I'm
What do you
saying
think?
green.
It kind of looks a bit green, but then you say grey and my eyes
Maybe
fixed
it is
a bit.
green.
Aye.
It's maybe me.
See that dress, by the way, that was undeniably blue and black. I never seen that white and gold once.
I've seen
I
white and
kept
gold.
Did
changing.
you? I just can't see it. I couldn't see it one bit. Undeniable blue and black.
So
funny.
the podcast, we keep getting back to the podcast
we're
because we keep getting
fucking
carried away, right? Who's your favourite person you've ever interviewed?
Oh. You want to go first?
Obviously, we've all got different tastes.
Aye. So I'm trying to think. Probably my favourite one we've done, and it's somebody that nobody would even know. It's a boy called Kev McGee, right? Who I just.
McGee's a good name. I like
there
it
you go,
already.
Kev McGee. And he was somebody I met. I used to do youth work, and when I was at uni I used to work in Knightswood Secondary School.
All right.
And I met him in there. He used to do youth work. He was one of the most interesting guys I've ever met. Like, grew up a pure Ned for Govan, like fighting, got bottled, nearly died, all this stuff.
All
and then
right,
he
okay.
became pure into like literature about the youth. And he ended up, his girlfriend was from Tanzania.
Right.
And he moved to Tanzania for like a year or two, and he accidentally ended up the manager of a sweatshop. So he ended up.
So he tells these stories that don't seem real.
Aye, so it was like he went over there and he was looking for work as like a handyman sort of thing, and this guy has advertised a job.
But is that no a third world country, Tanzania? No, am I thinking they're a different
I know,
place?
it is, aye. So,
Wait, there's a job as a handyman, mate, and there's £1 a day.
I don't know what he was hoping for, right enough.
I think he said in the pod, he said something about like, especially with the workshop, like it was a workshop he thought he was going to work in and that, and he was going to just be like a mad assembly line thing, I think.
Aye.
But then they ended up saying these workers need somebody for Britain or
Aye.
America or something like a Western
To be like,
person.
oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's came over here. They must just think, well, he's a like white guy. He knows exactly what to do.
So you loved his stories.
Oh, aye. It was just dead. It's just dead interesting because I think sometimes like you can get like we've had a good few DJs on, but then it kind of ends up the exact same interview every time. So you're like, right, how'd you start
That's how we
DJing?
DJ I talk to sometimes on lives. You done Colour Fest recently?
Is it
Merky? Did you have Merky on?
I seen. I'm well deep in the TikTok now. Did you see Merky argue with his bird in that?
I did, aye.
Oh,
I'm not
you
going to
can't.
deny
What
it.
did you say?
Oh, Merky.
It was a bit brutal, to tell you the truth, because I'd been talking to him the night before. That's how I saw it.
Oh,
When they were
no.
arguing on TikTok.
Aye.
Well, they were. Oh.
He came on a video or he was on live and he just like I can't remember when it was over, but he just outed his bird and then the bird had a reply. I love TikTok, man. TikTok's the best.
Listen, I stay away from the drama, right? Because we had a wee bit of drama in here one time where somebody was accidentally messaged and it was on our TikTok. Oh my God, to see her talking about this. So I never actually said her thing. It was Debbie.
Oh no.
I don't give a fuck.
Aye.
You want the beef?
But we stay away from the drama.
I just think if you're repeating something that somebody said online, it's there
fair
for
game.
everyone to
Fair
talk
game,
about.
innit?
Aye. I think that's something like people like it's hard to deal with at first, even for us. It's like you go for nobody knowing who you are, you're just like an unknown face walking through a crowd, and then you've got all these people on TikTok with no face on their account, random names that are
The thing
just
that I found a wee bit weird was I already had a massive following on Facebook and other platforms, as big as the platform I've got now on TikTok, right? And so I come onto TikTok and thought like, oh, who you? No, they thought I'd just been like, came from anywhere.
Aye.
And this mad psychic just kidding on, she's a psychic, appeared on TikTok.
Aye.
And it's like, oh my God, you know, she's making this up. And I was like, mate, I've actually been on the stage for about 10 years.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So it was weird. And then I think they've all got used to it now. And they're like, oh, there's Carol. But TikTok just kind of put you right out there.
Aye.
Because I can't walk along any street in Glasgow now without getting recognised, and I really can't. And I went to Thailand, get recognised. You know, you think I'm all right in Thailand, you can kick about, hair up there, eyes all over the place, and a pair of shorts, no cairn. And somebody's like, oh, there's a Scottish lassie in this bar. Wait till I introduce you? And the guy's like, oh, this is Sharon. I'm all right, Sharon, nice to meet you. She went, oh, Carol McGee, I can't believe I'm coming away to Thailand and bumped into Carol McGee. And my man's like, oh, really, aye? And my pal owned the bar. It's like, what, you fucking know her too? She's like, aye, oh my God, how are you doing? And even the boys like, oh, I watched you, and I'm like,
it's scary the reach. It's all these people you're like, I had no idea you would even.
And then like a lot of people know want their dresses put out onto social media and stuff like that. But I'm on live the other night and they're like, oh, Carol, I seen you. I tell everybody I live in Erskine, but I seen you down the road in the Erskine and the Aldi's in Erskine. I'm like, well, that'll be me outed then. And then so I'm just waiting and a neighbour can and say, oh, she stays round the corner for me. You can't get away with it, but social media is massive. But it has like a good advantage, the fact that all my shows sell out in 2 days, so yous must have noticed that when as you start to grow your following as well, it just gets bigger and better. So who's your best person you've interviewed?
Honestly, Mad Kev was brilliant. Like, we've had him on twice.
But you enjoyed him as well?
Aye, because he's
I think get Mad Kev on, Debbie.
Is that his name, Mad Kev? Or
Mad
Kev?
Nah, Mad Kev. But he's been on twice. Both times were brilliant. It was on the first time my boy Callum, who they were kind of comparing. He was for London. He kind of grew up in London, similar-ish kind of background and stuff, and then ended up working in the same place. So it's a kind of conversation about that.
Big Lee, mate.
But I was about to mention Sutherland. Big Lee Sutherland. Do you
Lee's
know
got a spat with me, I'm sorry, but he did.
He's got it with me
I know, but do you know what? I done a thing for Kaz Milligan, right? I don't know if you've seen it. I read Kaz Milligan, right? So Lee, come on. Now. No, witchcraft.
He doesn't like that black magic.
She's demonic, so you've seen it, I know then. She's demonic. I mean, there was a thing behind her and it was spinning and she's talking to Kaz. No, that was true. It really was, right? There was a hanging crystal and every time I connected in my spirit, it started spinning. Now
demonic.
I do the... Yeah, I'm doing sweet
I'm not Lee, by the way.
Anyway, here, I've not even given you one yet. That didn't sound right. I mean, but I was in the Corinthian one night in the big venue doing the stair and it's got massive chandeliers and I'm seeing like 200 people in front of me and they're all like that looking up. But when I'm doing my readings, I just concentrate on the person that I'm talking to. There could be a bomb going off in the corner, I don't care. So I'm seeing all these wee horns going up and they're all pointing. And at half time I says, what are they all pointing at? Like Carol said, when you started working with spirit, that chandelier above you started spinning. And so it's just the energy. And so you're looking for, is there a draft in here? Is it the aircon? There was fucking nothing like that there, right? And then so it stopped at half time, back on down a second half, then it went again, started spinning.
That is
and it's in the video. So when that happened in Kaz's like, oh my God, that's starting to spin. It kind of didn't bother me. But he picked up, oh, she's demonic. I love him.
I'm like,
she's demonic, but he's trying to get in my box for 2 months, you know what I mean? And I just digned him.
You need to get him in, man. Get him in here, man. Get him in. He has box office.
I don't think he's well. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. Lee, don't come for me. I think God love him. And I can't stop watching him. And my husband's like, you fucking kidding on, Debbie? And I'm like, oh, shut up. All I hear's fucking Joe Rogan constantly. So if I want to sit and stalk Lee Sutherland, but it's a wee vocab on him.
So you enjoyed him then?
Big Lee. You can't enjoy Lee. He's just you ask him something, you ask him a question, how did you start TikTok? And he starts talking about something completely different for about half an hour. You're like, on you go, Lee, man. I was on somebody else's podcast. Is it Jim King or something?
The Jim King show.
He was trying to really...
I've seen that popping up the day for the first time ever. I don't know who it is yet.
So he was talking to Lee, but he was trying to keep Lee on track. We're like, can I just come back to this? And I was like, you need to let that boy go. You need to let him go. There's no way I keep him on track.
Never answered a question like once. I think he's been on 3 times and he's not answered one question.
What is the story about him? Is he like he's got what's the whole police thing about?
I've tried to figure it out. This has been my mission for the last 4 years of my life to figure this out.
He's never been a lawyer?
I don't think so.
He's never been a cop?
No, I don't think so.
He said he's got his criminal law degree, but
aye, criminal law. Criminal law.
Criminal law degree, aye, so
he's a
if you want to believe that.
I actually went to look for the video that was put up. I should have screen recorded it that says the one that says I'm demonic. So you obviously seen it.
I think you sent me it.
Aye.
Kind of fun it.
Did he delete it?
He's deleted it.
Aye. He done that with
I don't know if MD screen recorded it, but I couldn't find it.
Somebody will have it.
You sent me it, I'll see if I've got it. I was on holiday. And you're like, he's talking about me, and I'm like,
I might have sent it a link, but I just laugh anyway.
I do like him.
So you liked him? That's funny. So, who's the worst person you've ever had on?
Oh, mommy.
There's been plenty.
Most of them.
I don't know. There's people that like sometimes maybe it's not their fault. It's just like we've got them in. It's like not that interested in what you're up to kind of thing.
Aye.
And like maybe like they just don't kind of match with us. Like we had like an ex-football player on,
Right, okay.
but I think he's like he's so funny on Twitter and all that, and he's some laugh. But then when we got him on, it was kind of just like, how was that trip away there?
I think, but no, it's Killian Sheridan, right? He used to play for Celtic. We were buzzing. Killian Sheridan.
Big
Actually,
Irish
he used to do a
What was the
podcast
team he
in here.
played for?
Celtic.
The
Glasgow
best team.
Celtic.
Who's that?
The best team.
Played for Apple and Limassol and all.
If you know him.
So but we got him on, and it was sort of, I would say it was our fault mostly, because I'm like, right, we're getting a football player on, let's talk to him about his football career. So, but I'm asking him questions. So you moved to Cyprus, you scored 42 goals in 30 games. Was that you at your best? And as soon as I said that, I was like, what am I doing? I'm not like, we're not a football podcast. And then we had somebody else on called Richard Dixon, who is like money guy, like business, property.
Richard Dixon?
Aye.
Is Dick no short for Richard?
Dick
so he's
Dixon.
like double Dick?
Double Dick, aye. We had him on.
Dixon. Dick Dixon.
Dick Dixon, we had him on, and he was
Tricky Dicky.
he was brand new. Really, he's like a really confident speaker. He was good, but it's just like that's where we made the mistake about going, people know who he is, let's get him on, instead of going, who do we want to talk to
Aye, who
about
do you vibe with?
things we like Big Lee.
Aye. On the same level.
So they're back to Dafty's on, but they've actually asked me to come on, so I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
We'll see.
So anyway, what else can we ask you? So now that you're kind of getting well known, and it'll only grow, it'll continue to grow, what's the positive side of it?
Positivity growing.
Aye, what's the positive side? Like, you get noticed in the street. Do you get lassies hitting on you and all that? Is your bird warned you? You better know if a porn star on you.
We were going to get Lana Wolf on. That caused major disruption. Do you know Lana Wolf?
Is she a porn star?
She's like a Rangers porn star. It's weird.
And so did your missus put the boot down?
It was Mary just a like, what the fuck you want her on for? I was like, we're not going to get halfway, we're going to ask her about what she does, but we never end up getting her on. But
so was that to save the peace?
maybe a wee bit.
Face of it.
But no, it's good. It's good. It's like validating getting noticed in terms of like, right, we're obviously doing something right. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I pure struggled at first with like the like you feel like you don't have any privacy, like you said, like walking somewhere and going. It's not even like a big headed thing in your brain. It's more just a thing of like, oh fuck, what if some days you can't be arsed just talking to people in the street. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you can't. You just want to relax and go and do whatever you've got to do. But
what happened to me, I was in Belfast, right? And I was doing a show in Belfast. The following day I was in the dentist with my pal who lives over there. No, it was Derry, sorry. We went in, and the next minute I go on Messenger, a picture for a lassie, and she's like, oh my God, it's amazing the people you bump into in the dentist in Derry. And I looked at my phone and I'm like, there's a picture of me on my phone in the dentist. And I'm looking about and there was nobody there.
Oh, that's
and somebody would obviously been in and left, and
maybe it was an apparition.
Creeped me out.
Maybe it was somebody.
But that's the only time I've ever been creeped out. Everything else has been alright. So now I'm like, I need to watch. I don't like somebody bumped to my car door that long ago. I'm like, fuck's sake, watch what you're doing. I'm like, I can't do that now. I'll be all the FYP. There's that love and light person giving it.
I said that to you the day, but you're an angry wee woman.
No.
She gives it a love and light. I'm like, fuck, you are one angry wee woman.
Past 2 days have been a wee bit mental. I think it's because my phone's no stopped. People are like, if you get a date for this, you get a date for that, you do that, you can do that. And I'm like, oh. Sometimes your head just spins and you're like, where can I fit that in? You're flicking through the diary and there's nowhere there. Do you know what I mean? It's hard, isn't it? Trying to get time to like kind of like fit everything in, especially if you work full time. And you're trying to do everything.
I work in an engineering place. I do engineering and that.
Are you kidding on your intelligence?
Aye.
The fox, huh?
What do you do?
Civil engineering.
Oh, dang.
Two smart guys in here.
Oh,
It'd be funny if two look like Colin Neds in here. And he's in
Ned's
the
a wood.
engineer.
The Neds need jobs, that I mean.
Aye.
Can't just be Neding.
Ned's
all
will
day.
inherit the earth.
So
Ned's
you
are
work in an
rising up.
engineering company and you don't clean the place?
No, I don't. No. I do a bit of work in there, but hopefully we can just do the podcast full time. That's what we want
Is that
to
the
do,
goal?
man. Aye. So hopefully, eventually, do you know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know. We put that much time into it. We've been doing it for it's growing, and we're kind of reaching a stage now where it's like the sort of it's sort of tipped in our favour that it's like, right, we're just kind of waiting on the right time to make the jump. It's hard, but because like you don't know. You know you need to take the risk to go and do it, but there's probably never a right time to do it. Maybe you could. Is this the right time? Could you tell me that?
Well, I don't know. How about the next time I come and see you, I do use both a reading,
Aye.
right? We can't do it the night, but what about when I come to see you, I sit down and I do a reading. You can film it if
We'll do
you
it in the
like.
pod. You start the pod with a couple of readings.
Reading. Oh.
Do you want to do that?
That'd be great.
But that might take up too much time.
I'll
So
get
what-
a wee crystal to hang up.
Did he take long?
Aye.
I've
Well-
never had one.
I could probably do you a quickie. Don't get excited. Your bird of luck. Why bring me in? I want to meet her. I'm bringing in my daughter to meet you because she's your biggest fan. You can bring in your bird to meet me.
Oh, she was buzzing, man. See, when I met my girlfriend, I'd never done anything like, because I think now you're saying you always hear Joe Rogan. There's a theory that like crystals and cards and that, the guy version of that is listening to Joe Rogan. It's like,
I feel like he lives with us.
aye, exactly.
I'm not going to get him off and it's he's
I listen
American.
to one of his podcasts and he's no that. I'm
No,
not
I
getting
can't.
it.
No.
No,
that
hard.
guy thing?
He's got like 3,000 of them. Like he's done like the most ever. Like
I know,
that's
right?
the
And I
mad
see
shit.
he's like
Annoying.
sitting tappy the top,
Aye, he's up there,
right?
isn't he?
Top dog.
And I seen that, so I thought, because I googled when I started this, who's the top 10, so that I can say, right, let's see what they're doing to see what people are liking. So it's all right what we like, but it's what the majority of people are liking. So I did do my homework, right? So I watched them and I thought, must be a guy thing.
I think it is. It's not so much him, it's
It's
his
probably
guests.
people he gets on.
Aye, he gets on
okay.
experts and like mad
Aye.
things. That's you're listening more for the guest than him.
Aye, it's
he's not even
Aye.
that funny, and that is really he's that big that he can get anybody on.
Because he gets a lot of folk.
Well, see, I think the same about another podcaster as well. He's that big, he can get MD on, but born as fuck. You know, it doesn't matter. But I just
I know who.
I just think
Aye.
I would like to interview that person,
Aye.
you know, to see what comes out there.
Would
But
you
I-
not?
Aye, but
I think that'd be like, no harm in, but I think that'd be like one of the interviews they're talking about where you're kind of like trying to get blood out of stone. Like, I don't think you'd vibe with him.
I can't know who you're talking about.
Of course you do.
you say
He's not Scottish.
I've sensed it. I
don't know.
He's like pure click in the corner. I'm probably getting the wrong guy.
We're all like different people.
So anyway, as we go forward, you are both starting up your own studio. So that's exciting.
Aye, it's good, man. It's like a good like check, like what would you call it?
Checkpoint,
Checkpoint? No, there's another word
Bucket
for it.
list.
Bucket like
Tick.
landmark, something. You know what I mean?
goal
Aye. So
Feet up on the table and all
Oh,
that.
man.
Here we can do what we like in here.
Gratifying, by the way, like
Aye.
building it as well, like see doing stuff to it and that. It's
painting
like,
And your own, and your own
baby.
taste and your own colours.
exactly.
So what's it like if we get a sneak preview?
We've got the first thing we bought for it was we went to the bars and we bought, well, just walking through, there's a really weird shop in the bar. It's called Randall's Antiques, and it sells the creepiest like things ever, right? You might, I don't,
You should go in there and see if
I
you
don't like creepy things. I know I'm a medium and that's my job, right? And I know I do that. But I don't ever watch horrors. I've never watched a horror in my life. Hint I know, Holly.
you love
And
it.
the other thing I don't do is dolls. I don't do creepy
Well.
dolls. If you get a creepy doll in there,
we have, I'll tell you what,
I'll
we've-
get to fuck.
we have,
honestly.
we have it's a toy dinosaur, so it's about that size, but somebody's took the head off it and put a baby's head
Oh
on
no,
it.
you're going to have to
this
put
is
that in
Toy
the
Story?
cupboard.
Aye, it's like that.
It's like that.
It's like that.
Oh,
It
that
wasn't it-
sounds interesting.
Randall's
You bought it like
Antiques.
that?
Aye,
Aye.
it's like he makes
this guy
things like that.
Randall.
Randall makes them, man.
So he's taking the toys apart like that wee guy at a toy store and putting them all
Sid,
back together, Sid.
That's the
I'll
least.
go and have a wee look at that. Actually, that sounds
Should
really
it be fun if you
interesting.
get like a mad vibe off it?
Because it'd be interesting because we've also bought a big wooden mask, and the guy told us it was an ancient Indonesian spiritual protection mask.
Oh,
So we've got
Imagine
that.
you put it on, you turned into like the mask.
Aye, that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for.
That'd be cool.
Jamie, I'm not trying to be funny. We're going to take it back half.
This is off the subject, but before I forget, see how like we're talking about toys there?
Aye.
Know how like Toy Story, like the toys have got like, is that a thing? Like, could you read a wee toy and go, they are like
You've
people?
got something.
Like they've got a life? Nah.
I can't see that happening, right? No, I've heard all these stories about a doll that's been haunted. You've probably heard about that yourself. There's a haunted doll that people are saying it's a haunted doll and it moves and says things. Not fair enough, right? Personally, I think that's a lot of shit.
But is that a doll that's been took over but by a dead person?
Is it? But how can a fucking spirit take on a bit of plastic? I can't
So
get
is
that in
it
my head.
our
No,
toys
it's
actual...
see, unless I see things with my own eyes and experience it for myself, it's no happening, right? But me and Debbie went to the most haunted inn in Scotland, which is the Drovers Inn. You heard it?
Aye.
Outside Lochlow, haunted. We hired a room for the night to experience it, right?
We never stayed.
And I said, Debbie's got a young Wayne, right? So I says, bring a couple of toys, like a wee rattling on it makes a noise, and we'll ask the spirits to move the toys to see if it happens, right?
Nutcase.
So we done it, right? We done this, right? We goes into the room and there was like 3 single beds because we hired a 3-person room in case we we're going to take somebody with us to film it, but we decided just to film it ourselves, right? So there was 3 single beds. So me and her were letting 2 single beds here next to each other. That was the plan. We never actually get into them. 2 single beds, and the single bed was all there itself. So I says to Debbie, did you bring toys? And she's like, I just brought a book. And I'm like, a fucking book? Why would you bring a book? And she's like, oh no, look at this. It makes noises. So one of the Wayne's books, it makes noises.
Oh,
it's
right.
like,
It's Peppa Pig.
I press the buttons.
No, no, Peppa.
no, it makes all these noises.
Danny Dog and all that.
Aye.
Freddy.
And I says, right, we'll try that. All right, well, that's all we've got. So we put it on the spare bed, right? We sat the book on the pillow on the same bed, the spare bed. The night before, I'd been up all night and I hadn't been to sleep. And so I says to Debbie, whatever we're going to do, we're going to have to do it quick because I'm really tired. I says, so we'll start this up. I asked if there's spirits there and we need to go for it. I says, because I'm going to fall asleep. She went, don't you fall asleep and leave me in here myself. She's
No,
like,
she
"What,
fucking laid down, shut her eyes shut, and still here I'm at, no.
She's like, you could actually sleep in here. I went, no bother. I said, I've no slept all night.
It was pure
And she's
evil.
like, don't you go to sleep and leave me in here myself? She's like, no, in my luck, that fucking book will start making noises, right? And we're sitting there, and next thing it went, moo. And the fucking, in the other bed.
like,
She's
bye.
getting on my arm. She's like, Carol. And I went, what? And she went,
She's like, I think we should get started. I was like, I'm done.
she's like,
I'm done.
see if you want to sit in here beside me, I'd swear you're taking the piss. And I was like, I'm fucking right beside you. And she's like, how the fuck did that happen? Swear,
fucking
we've done
weird.
it live on TikTok, right? So by this time we'll get about 400 people live on this TikTok, and they're like, Debbie, tell her to do it again. So people on TikTok are telling me what to do, right? And like, go and open the book, go and turn a page. I went, oh my fuck, I'm not going to turn the page. And she's like, I'll do it. So she bounces all the bed, turns a page and jumps back in. 2 minutes later, the bottom drawer opens on a big
Fucking-
bedside cabinet.
And do you know what? It was pure old, like it's a pure
No.
old building, and like they're just going to slide.
I just by a gust of
I was
windows
like,
up.
So
I'm
my
gonna
daughter's
die.
on TikTok, right? So she's in watching. She's like, Mum, go and do this. If she was there, she'd have shot herself, right? But she's like, Mum, go and do that. And I was like, no chance. Next time she's like, screaming and all that, didn't she? And the next thing, the fucking drawer went back in.
But the floor was pure misty. It was like a fucking graveyard.
What?
Wasn't it?
Aye, it was
Aye.
freezing. Like it was
You
fucking
get this
get a
thing
freezing.
called
refund for that?
ectoplasm, and it's the neatest thing
pure-
I've ever seen.
Like in Ghostbusters?
Aye.
It's fucking
Like
weird. It was
misty.
like a graveyard. I was like, this
And
is like a
so
horror movie.
I don't believe things until I experience it, right? Because sometimes people say to me places are haunted and I go and I don't feel nothing, right? And other times I have. So we're going to hire it again. So the 2 rooms up in the attic are the most haunted in the whole place. So the ghosties must be living in the attic. And I felt there was a Wayne up there, right? So I'm thinking we hire 2 rooms. You can
We
go
did
into
hear the
one
wee
room and we
feet,
can go
remember?
into the other.
I'm alright. I'm alright.
Would you not be up for that?
Where is it? Loch Lomond?
Aye.
The Bonnie Banks? Oh, God.
It is a beautiful low.
We could always go to the Bonnie Banks to redeem ourselves.
Recuperate.
I think that would be alright.
Oh my God,
that would
that's
be an
okay.
I could do that
experience.
again. We
I'll go
left
think
during
about
the
it.
night and we had to escape. It was all locked
We
up.
left
It's all
and then-
stuffed animals. She's trying to open the door, and I'm just looking at this albino badger.
I
Like,
says
get me
to, I
out.
says to
Aye, there's a
her,
hanging
I
in the
says,
walls.
Debbie, you want your book back? She went, "Dear fuck."
Oh my God, I was not
So the
doing that
next
in my
day I
house.
says to her, I was like, "Oh, Debbie," I says, the people phoned and says, "Oh, you've left something in the room, you've left the book." And she's like, "Aye." I says, "I just told them to post it." Post it. She's like,
Fucking
"Fucking murdered."
But mind me, I had the wee feet running about, and I thought, it was not nice.
That is creepy, boys.
Wasn't
It is
good.
creepy.
So can you just book this on like booking.com?
Aye.
People go and stay there voluntarily.
It was like
Because of that.
140
no,
quid.
just go and stay. I'm like, what is wrong
But
with
do
it?
they not even like try and play into the whole haunted thing? Is it no like a...
No, I think folk just go. Well, after we went there, my wee niece said, look, I didn't want to say to you before you went. She went, but my dad booked in there with his girlfriend, because it is, see, when you're travelling a long way and it's like a stop-off point. So they stayed in the
Packed,
room.
by the way.
I know it was.
We were
And the
there
food
on a
was
Monday
good,
night and
wasn't
there's
it?
no spaces.
The food was banging, man. The stuffed animals, but they were
Aye,
wrong.
Fusty.
Aye. So she said that they booked into room 6, which is the most haunted room, right? So she said he woke up during the night and his partner had a sore head, and she's like, did you get paracetamol or something? And he's like, aye, they're on like the bedside cabinet, and it just fucking flew right across the room.
Oh no, I'm not having that, man.
There's your
I was like,
fucking
could you not have told me
paracetamol,
that
boys.
before?
No, I don't understand. But like, how can you put up with that? But like a horror movie, you're like, oh no, like what? How?
But that's the thing. So when I stand up on stage and I bring forward messages for people, right? It's like I'm bringing through your granddad that's passed over and what he's got to say to you and the connection and how he passes and stuff like that. And so that's a nice thing, right? And it's like it brings like closure and comfort and all these different
You've
things.
invited them in.
Aye, but some spooky bastard living in an attic I don't know and I'm not
Aye,
expecting.
we're on their territory.
Aye.
They don't want us in.
And so if I was to get in my house and see an old guy standing at the top of my stairs, I'd probably pee my pants, right?
Aye.
And I don't do horrors because it's just man-made. And I don't want all that shit in my head. And really, when it comes to things like that, I can't do it.
Do you ever get, you know how like in a sense you would get like a bad trip? Say if you had psychedelics or something, do you ever get like a bad reading? You're like, oh, this guy's nuts, man. Like just a mad murderous dude that's coming to be like, fuck.
Somebody's
did,
gra-
didn't you?
I
We did
did.
a pod
I
about
did.
this.
Did you?
Paul, you need to dig
Disappeared.
that out. It's disappeared. That spooky
So-
bastard's deleted that.
Take up, man. Don't want any of that bad press.
So you're going to love this, right? I was in a house one night in Linwood, right?
Oh fuck!
Are you feeling it?
That was just scary enough, man.
I feel a bit goosebumpy.
I'm
Is that not where the 42 bus goes or something? Anyway, I was in a house in Linwood years ago when I done houses. I don't do houses anymore, right? I was in a house in Linwood and I had read for 4 people and I had finished, and as I'd finished, this pregnant lassie came in, right? And she's like, oh, I don't want a reading because I heard when you're pregnant you can't get a reading. Ham's a baby. And I was like, well, it doesn't actually. I says, but if that's what's in your head, then no bother. Come back and see me when you've had the wean. Good luck and all that, right? See, as I was talking to her, and came this big face and it was staring at me. I've never experienced anything like that, right? It's as if he was right there and I could feel him breathing on me. And now I'm no Catholic. You probably sensed that, right? And so in comes this big face and I just says to Spirit, wherever you are, you better protect me. And I looked down and Mother Teresa was kneeling in front of me in my mind's eye. So I knew right away I was protected. Does that make sense? And the face was Peter Tobin. And I just about shit myself. And I'm like, I didn't even know he was dead. Right? Turns out it's another story. So I'm seeing Peter Tobin and I'm talking to this lassie, no bother, come see me some other time. No what I say. No one to say. Fucking Peter Tobin's breathing in my ear, right? And so I'm like, but while I'm talking to her, I'm praying to God and saying, make sure I'm all right. This is one creepy bastard standing here, right? Evil is what I'm thinking. It was an evil presence. And then she turned around and she says to me 2 minutes later, I'm Peter Tobin's daughter.
No danger.
Swear. And so coincidentally, right, after that, I don't believe in coincidences. The following week I was in another house down in the Vale, right, in Dumbarton, just after Dumbarton. And it was a posh house in Dumbarton because there's not a lot of posh houses in the Vale, but this one is posh, right? So I'm in there. I'm only kidding guys. So anyway, I was down there and there was a lassie and I was telling her the story. Never guess what happened to me last week, right? And she went, what? And I says, nah, da. And then comes Peter Tobin. She went, he's no dead. And I went, what? She says, he's no deed. And I went, well, how could he just come in at the side of my ear? She went, I don't know. She says, but I'm high up in the prison service. I'm such and such. And when a high profile prisoner dies, it's on my desk the Monday morning because there's got to be a public inquiry, even if it's a natural death. She went, he's still alive. And I went, all right. So anyway, through linking into spirit and asking them, it turns out that was just that energy round about her. So there was an energy round about that lassie. And that's how that works out.
Know how you prayed to God, right?
Aye.
To protect you. What were you thinking would happen if you weren't protected?
I didn't know what was going to happen.
In you? Forgiving him.
He might have wanted to have a wee feel or something.
I know, but could he actually do anything to you?
No, I'm protected. I'm naturally protected. But at that time, sometimes I get taught things in blocks. You might not understand that. But that whole week I was having dreams about being protected, naturally protected. I'll not go into it, it's too long. But that was a little block of teaching, learning from spirit to me. Does that make sense?
Aye.
It's like my dad teaching me a lesson.
Aye.
I was taught a lesson that week and how to feel energies and what it means and that I'm naturally protected. And I think that was a lesson in that for me.
What if you're not naturally protected? But I need to know.
We are naturally protected. You've probably heard that saying, the dead can't harm you, only the living can harm you. So I reckon you two should come in there with us and do that.
I'll do it. I'm up for it.
I think
As long
we
as
should,
Peter's
by the
there.
way.
Oh, no.
I actually get Peter done.
I'll put a wee call it to him and say, Peter.
cuddle.
Aye, I'll put a wee call it to him and say, Jamie and Evan, want you to hang about with them for
Huge
the night?
fans. Was that the first time you had felt a presence of someone that was alive like that, if you know what I mean?
That was the first time I had felt an absolute evil presence.
Aye.
What you would call evil.
Aye.
That was the first time that I had experienced that. And so for a split second, I shit myself.
Aye.
And that's how I've said, Spirit, you better get in here. And their response was as quick as a flash.
Mother
Teresa. And so that's like, in my mind, I knew instantly she was kneeling, praying at my feet. And she was like lit up, like with a glow. And I thought, all right, cool as fuck.
It's the light,
Peter.
What you got to do?
the light of the Lord, man.
And that sounds like something out of a film that's a bit hard to believe, but I just always speak my truth, and so that's what I need to do. And sometimes online I feel people saying, Carol, don't ever change, just be yourself, rather than one of these crackpot mediums, and so I'm just always myself.
Aye, let's talk medium beef.
Is that
Here, what do you mean medium beef? You're here, we're interviewing you.
No, I mean, not that
I
podcast.
like to talk medium beef.
Let's talk like who's the biggest bitch in the game, who's a sound guy, who's this, who's that.
I can't really name names. I really can't, right? But there's a few people that's at the top of the game that are out doing shows and that the same way I am. There has been one major person that was fake, and it ripped my knitting, and I didn't want to out the person, and I just left it up to Spirit.
How do you know they're fake? How can you spot a fake Karen?
Spirit showed me.
They're a fake.
And I went to
It's a
see
bit
somebody
bold,
that was working with him, and I says, he's fake. And they're like, no, not a chance, blah, blah, blah. I went, he's fake. How do you know? Spirit showed me. Here's what they told me. And I told the person, and she says to me, Carol, see, but it's because it's you. I know it's fucking true, and I know what your connection's like with the spirit world. She kept her diary and she found him fake.
I wonder if that spirit was like talking to him, like, all right, mate, what's happening? It was just ignoring them and that, and I was like, this guy doesn't even see me. I mean, this is fake. That's the litmus test, isn't it?
But there is a lot of good mediums out there as well. There's a lot of genuine mediums. You've probably heard good stories about some. You should always go to people that's recommended.
Aye.
But the thing with me is, I put myself out there. I fucking video it and put it all on social media.
That's true.
And it's like, do you know what, mate? Go and watch it and make up your own mind. That's all videoed live. It's no made up. There's an audience of 200 people, 200 witnesses.
Aye, because I think like the thing that people always think about mediums, if you're doubting it, is like, they could have maybe just looked you up on Facebook and seen, you're
I get it all the time, but you've no idea how bad my memory is.
If you're doing it in front of a crowd of people that you've no idea who they are, then how could you possibly be doing that? I think that's like the best way to show like I'm feeling things and I'm getting things and I'm getting messages.
Well, that happened today on TikTok. Actually, somebody would commented on one of my videos and it's like, she's been on your Facebook, mate. She's done this, said that, took notes and then went and bet you a show. I says, listen, that was a fundraiser. They people sold the tickets. And there was 150 people there and I just walked in the door and done a show. I don't know if Evan's turning up with his birthdays, grannies, mom and to his family. You know what I mean? And even if I did know you were coming, you've bought 6 tickets and I don't know the 5 5 people you're bringing with you.
That's true,
So
aye.
it doesn't make sense.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? It just can't happen.
It'd be solid, I know. Like having to, that'd be like studying.
How bad's my memory? But how
terrible.
bad is my memory? Who are you?
See how like when you've got 200 people in a whole bit, how do the like spirits work it? Do they like wait in a wee queue or?
Well, I do one on one. Aye, so one at a time.
But are they no just all chant in the background? You're like hold
No,
the
I
bus.
don't have
Silence.
that. I work in a
Aye.
certain way. So usually when I go to somebody, I'll bring through 3 or 4 people that's pastoring about them so we don't get grannies all night.
Aye.
And I always go like that. Listen, there's about 3, 4, 5 people coming through for you. Your uncle's here, your granny's here, your other granny's here, your cousin's here and he's here. Dad do this, and they're like, all right. And so I do that. So sometimes mediums that are no worth their weight in gold are like, oh, your granny's here. She's dead.
Aye.
They're like, "No shit,
Cardigan on."
Batman."
What do you think about doing a reading for somebody when you're not in the same room as them, like over like a maybe a
100%
face
I
thing?
can do it because I do it all the time.
Oh,
I've done it
really?
for years.
Ah, right, okay.
So if you think that spirit can make things appear, Mother Teresa in your mind's eye and all that, well, if they can do that, how can I know you're just sitting in your chair in Australia?
Aye, how can I know what Zoom?
So see when the spirit's there and you're on camera, like
That'd
say
be
I
an
was,
interesting one for your podcast. So what can do you face to face and do you in the next room?
Aye. See how that goes.
Or bring in somebody, put them in the next room, don't tell me who's there and I'll do a reading for them.
Oh, we could do that with Reddit or something.
Aye.
So in other words, what I could do is like just hear their voice. I don't need to see their face.
Do you need
oh,
some
you could
sort
like
of
guess
connection?
them.
But
I would like or I'm no sure, something like that. All right, and people usually sit there like,
Aye, they don't get in the
especially
way.
guys are like that. All right, can you fuck away?
Aye, like you're not getting in this. Like, my mind's like Fort Knox.
Because do they not say if you cross your legs and all that you can't read them?
Oh, because it's like a barrier.
But I've
like
heard
it's
people
a-
say
Don't say that.
close off.
That protects you.
I'll get They'll be like, horns behind the back. I'll be singing that cross.
That like can stay right there.
Do you ever get people that say stuff to you that you can't say to them? Like they say you need to tell them.
I would take each one in their own merit, right? There was one time that the one that always springs to mind, again, I think it's a lesson. I get taught things in lessons. A woman came in, she was probably about 70, she was a good age. And so I'm saying, your mum's here, your brother's here, blah, blah, blah. I say, and at the end I says to her, is there anything you want to know? She says, I've went to about 10 mediums. She says, and the only one thing I want to know, I says, well, no pressure. I says, what is it? I says, I'll try and answer it for you. She says, I want to know who my dad is. My mammy would never tell me. And I thought, okay. And I can say, I never ever repeat my readings about anybody, but I can say this because it's in another country, right? And I says, right, okay. And so as she's talking to me, I'm asking Spirit, who's her dad? And they says, her mum's brother, his name's Jim. So I says to her, I says, your mum got a brother? I says, he's passed over. And she went, aye. I says, is his name Jim? She went, aye. I went, Jim's here in spirit as well.
Oh, that's nasty.
You just sort of
She
let her
didn't
know.
click. She didn't click. I said that after she asked me. I says, I can't answer you because I took it, you know, I had a conversation with another medium. I says, do you give out everything you get for spirit? He went, oh, aye, if they're getting it, there's a reason. He says, do you? I went, no, I've held back. And he says, what? And I told him that story. I said, but you'd have told her that? And he went, aye, absolutely. I went, no, I couldn't.
So
What's the point in telling a 70-year-old woman that? That would be devastating, right?
to
I
kill her on the
couldn't.
spot,
And
man.
again, I felt that was a lesson. Is she going to? Is she no going to? So there's times when I'll judge it for myself.
Should I probably been walking up the road like that, rubbing her like webbed fingers like that? Oh fuck! That explains so much.
I don't think she could have seen them because she had 3 eyes.
Did Jim actually say, but I'm her dad? I'm her uncle and her dad?
Spirit told me her dad was her Uncle Jim.
Oh,
That's
man.
fucking nasty.
That's like an old.
But the other thing is I could be wrong. You know, I could just be picking up the fact that there's an Uncle Jim there, but it's just that it came in. I said, do you have an Uncle Jim in spirit? And she went, aye. I went, okay. And so that could also be the reason why her mum never ever told her.
Fucking right it was.
Aye, obviously, aye, 100%.
She never had any siblings either.
Oh, so it was just a one-off.
That-
Just a wee one.
I couldn't hurt MD like that. There was no need for it. What good's it going to do?
Aye, no,
No
she'd have
good.
been.
Aye, because you could. It's like you've got this gift, so like you can either use it for
Good
good,
or evil.
or you could just.
I just
want
felt
to-
it was a test.
I want to know if that was I want to know if her mum wanted to be pumped off her brother.
Right, Debbie, too far.
I was trying to
Get her on the line. Phone her.
Do you know what I mean?
Paul,
Or has she been raped?
Oh,
Could
That's
be.
what but hold on, Jim.
That's spooky.
what does that make it any?
Well, if she's willingly,
What would you rather? Know what I mean?
well,
Aye. That's a chicken and egg. That's
I
a
think it's worse if they wanted to shag each other.
I know.
probably is.
But then you wonder if the Mo spoke to the brother when she was saying, "Oh, I've got your Uncle Jim here," and I wonder if she was thinking, "No, my Mo doesn't talk to him." I need to know.
At the
I need
end
to know.
of the
Part
day,
two.
we're all just making up stories and it was none of my business.
Aye, it's totally.
So you need to take
fabricated.
yourself right out of it. You know, so sometimes when I'm talking to people about maybe abuse and things like that, you come in, you need to take your own thoughts out of it and just make it matter of fact. But for me, when you bring through things like abuse or things that's happened to people, it's like a clearing, a cleansing, a healing. You know, it should be like that.
I see that in a lot of the comments in your videos because it's like a lot of people say like, why do people even argue if it's real or no? Because look at like the effect it has on the people is real. So whether you think you're getting
So
something
they're
or
only
no,
judging me on one video that they're seeing at that point, right? But see that one video, I've gave 20 videos like that in the one night, right? So what I'm saying is that's part of the night. So during that night, I've gave 20 messages that are all consistent. You can't fucking guess that. See if you can. I'd be putting a low in the lottery every week. You can't be that consistent and guess that all the time. Doesn't it happen? And let's just talk about the one that was on the other day. So when I says to her, you put a letter in the coffin, a lot of people put letters in the coffin, but your boy's an adult and you've put a toy in it. I've no put a toy in it. Well, it shows me a wee teddy. And they went, oh my God, turns out it was a wee silver teddy that size of it in it. And I've just seen a teddy. Because Spirit's put in my mind, there's a teddy in his coffin. And I'm thinking, yeah, boy's 26. What if you put a teddy in it for it? Turns out it's a wee silver teddy that size.
Aye. You sometimes
Can I make that up?
I heard a story and it was like about somebody's husband that died and they went to a psychic and she said, the guy said to her, sorry, like your husband's talking to you and he's telling you to get rid of that green miniskirt. And she was like, I've not got a green miniskirt and that. And then she went away and then it was like a few days later, she clicked on, she was like looking at her motor, she realised she had a green Mini Cooper and he always hated that motor. And it was like, took a few days to like click kind of thing, like it wasn't as like...
It wasn't exact, but it was along the lines.
That sometimes happens like a bit of like fog in it a wee bit, like it's something like... Do you know what I mean? Like you can cross wires.
See, it's down to the medium's interpretation. So the fact that I'm saying, do you put a toy in the coffin? No. Well, I'm seeing a teddy.
aye.
And then they went, oh my God, the teddy's in the coffin. Without saying what it was. And it wasn't a teddy, it says it's a wee silver teddy in the coffin.
Aye.
How good's that?
But
That's
you,
nice, though.
and do you see things clearly? Like, do you actually?
I see it in my mind's
envisage-
eye. You know how you're talking to me and you're thinking of the next question?
Aye.
So when I'm talking to somebody in the audience, I've got the next question already in there. So it's like you going like, oh my God, I'm going to ask her if
Aye.
whatever's going, you know, you've already got the questions piled up.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's like subconsciously kind of working on
It's
it.
just your mind. So it's like me having a funnel above my head, somebody dropping thoughts into my mind. That's how I work. A lot of mediums don't work like that, but that's how I work, you know, so it's a wee bit different.
So she gave you a reading, the Mora, and says to you, quit your job, would you go and hand your notice in?
Well, here's the thing. I'd never done cut my cards until
Right.
I met my girlfriend.
Right, okay.
And she used to, do you want to do your cards? Oh, shit. Don't worry. That's just a guy hanging it. Oh, cards. And then she done them 2 weeks ago or something. She turned it, because I used to try and turn them on at one time.
Oh my God, you got to meet Karen McGee.
Picture of you. Oh my God. So the way they were linked up was like, if this is next to this, it means this. So she's reading it and she's like, I can't remember what was next to each other, but she said, this says you've not to leave your job yet. Like you have to stay in your place of work at the moment.
Right.
And I was like, I fucking hate my job. What, they don't know nothing. See, like a week later, there was like, I'm not going to say what the news was, but there was some news in my work that was a jackpot result. Great. Like it made me want to stay for longer, right?
Right, okay.
And I was like, oh my God. And I texted her and I was like, your fucking cards are bang on, by the way. There's been a few things with them where a lot of the time it'll be like, right, here's an anchor next to this or this, and it's like, oh, they don't go. But see the ones that match, it might not be immediate, but seeing like 3 weeks, a month, I'm like, oh my God, they cards, that made sense.
Aye. Sometimes I get people messaging me like, Carol, you're not going to remember me, but you gave me a reading 3 years ago and I've never forgot it. And oh my God, you've no idea how good that was at the time. And I think, oh, that's dead nice. People message me at 2 a.m. just to tell me that. So they must be thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm always careful of what I say because it has a profound effect on people in ways that sometimes I don't really get it. I get it now though. Because see, like, the older woman in the Days video that I put up, I brought her through her boy who had died recently, and she got me in the toilet and she went, I can't thank you enough, and I wish that I'd got it in the video. I says, oh, you're very welcome. And she's like, I've prayed for a month that he'd come through when I came to your show the night.
No.
How nice is that?
That's class.
It's like, that's my job.
That's
right
a pure
there,
rewarding thing to
Ain't
do,
it?
man. Aye.
But it's like, it's worth its weight in gold, that.
Aye.
A lot of folk
that
will
just
come to you for
one.
closure on stuff,
Don't
but
they?
I think like if they've
Aye.
got something in their head.
And you said you're
Jink-
doing like 20 of them, like in a room full of 200 people, you might do 20 of them. That's like 20
Aye.
people that might be going home like,
I know,
thank
but people
God,
go
man.
like, Carol, you're funny as fuck, by the way. It's like coming to see like a comedy show as well as
Aye, it's
whatever.
not just-
as well as that. And then see 20,000 people comment, oh my God, that was really nice. Then you get the one person going like, oh my God, she swore. I like, on a couple of
Disgusting.
videos, I take my shoes off because I feel grounded. I don't always take them off, but sometimes I do, depending on what shop I'm in, right? Because sometimes people, you're sticking to the flare and all that, right? And so sometimes I'm only kidding. So sometimes I keep my shoes on, and people comment like, "Oh my God, where is her shoes?" And you're like, "I've just get her an amazing reading," and you're like, "Where's her shoes?"
Aye, who cares?
Fuck off, mate. Do you know what I mean? Get yourself. But obviously, I can't put that on my socials.
Aye, you can.
I know, but I do
Whack it
sometimes.
up.
Sometimes if I'm on live, I go, oh mate, fucking bull.
The angry psychic. You should market that.
No, don't you dare say that. Don't want people saying that. So, who do you want on your podcast next? Who would you like to interview?
I want to interview Davy Hutton
Oh, aye.
for the quick sale. Quick sale sold!
Davy Hutton.
Do you?
I'm
I was
Davy
listening
Hutton.
to him the other day.
Have
Me
you
and
seen
my
him?
husband, and he said something about the women's like, aye, Davy, but I've got somebody like, he's like, I know how to handle a semi.
How did he get that passed
And
on
I
the
just
radio?
went like, my man, is it just me that's heard? And he's like, no, he's a dirty bastard. I'm like, that's quite...
It's like, Davy, I've got a house with a neighbour through the wall. Can you help me sell it? And he goes, aye, Davy knows how to handle a semi. But
It's on Clyde One. The advert. You're like, how did they know
he's
click
the
on
king.
it?
He's the king of advertising.
But then it makes you remember him because like that, I didn't really, if you'd said to me a few days ago, I'd have been like, right, I know that name, but because we were actually talking about that the other day, I was like, I know who he's
Have
talking
you seen
about.
the guy? But
No.
he looks like an eclectic fella, by
He
the way.
dresses like a pirate.
He's like a
really?
You would
pirate.
never think
Shut
it.
up.
He's got like a wee beard with beads in it and
I
that.
don't know who you're... It goes to my boy's gym in Renfrew.
Does it?
Aye, do you want an interview? Brian talks to him all the time.
Get him on.
I've just realised who you're talking about.
Davey.
Debbie, we're getting him first.
Hi,
well,
I'm
Davy.
Davy Hutton.
Give me a reading.
What is it?
He
So
goes
what
to
is
the
it?
gym and
Herself?
he goes to the gym and he's
something
always
like
going like, all right, Brian, how you doing, mate? No, Brian talks away to him.
Oh, no, get him
And
in the
Brian
gaff.
says he turns out with 2 different colour socks on. He doesn't wear a pair of socks. They're 2 different colours. Do you know that?
That's Davy Hutton out of
That's
the bag.
style. That's just
Aye.
style for the
2
guy.
different socks,
Aye.
apparently.
But
That's quite
he's-
random that you
He's
want
number
him, innit?
one. He's my number one
We
guest.
always have mad
Really?
weird, like, we always have mad weird guests we want on, don't we? It's like, I think that's why, but now you're saying like, oh, it's like the naturalness, like, because we always like, well, like, we don't want to be like anything like any other podcast. Like, we
Same.
want to get guys like
Same.
that on, because
Aye.
I mean, see, like, a lot of people that, just because of the age group that listen to us, a lot of people are like, get this DJ on, get that DJ on, get this DJ on. And I'm like, you would maybe want to hear that, but we don't want to sit
I'm
and
not trying to be
listen
funny,
it.
but he's need to get Merky on now after that.
Oh, Amanda Bird. Sort
Get
it
into it.
out. We actually, do you know what we'll try to do for ages there? But they're 2 drama queens, man. Try to get Kaz Milligan and Lee Sutherland on the podcast together. Now they pure argue with each other.
Aye, but I think they
Aye,
shit
but I
themselves.
think
I don't think
Aye.
they want to be face to
Cass Milligan's
face.
just moved, hasn't he? Because when I was up at his house recently, the bold Lee was out stalking them outside and all that, wasn't he?
But
Well,
then
that's
I
what-
don't
that's
think they
what
want to
dubbed
meet each other.
No.
They talk a good game and go and...
We had a plan to like we were going to make like a podium and have a proper debate. We were going
Aye.
to dress like judges and that.
See, like the presidential debate in America?
Aye.
We're going to give them 2 minutes each to answer the questions and set a podium up for them. And one of them wears a red tie, one of them wears a
Get
blue
Davy
tie.
Hutton in with the wig.
Davy Hutton.
Wait,
Aye.
me
Why don't you do that?
But then
Phone them and do it.
So one night, it was one day actually, our pal put in a group chat, like, are you still doing that podcast with Kaz and Lee after like Lee went to Kaz's house last night and sent like a screen recording for a live for the night before, and it was just randomly after all the drama about going to his house and all that, Kaz is like, right, we'll do the podcast, that'll be good, but Lee kind of crossed the line again, which was going to his house.
Right,
and
okay.
For a random Tuesday night, it was there at 1 a.m.
But
going, come out.
Why did he not chat the door? I actually remember this because I was on holiday and he had this old guy with him that was breathing like Darth Vader.
Oh, aye.
But me and my husband, I swear, I've
That
never
might be the
seen
creepy
Tam.
guy that phones me at 2 a.m.
Maybe.
Well, I think it was a woman,
But
actually.
I've never seen my man laugh so much in his life, and it was just the stupidest wee comment. But know how sometimes so at the start of the video it goes, right, that's us in this mad voice, and somebody put in the comments, was that Jack Jarvis out of fucking and then so I went in the comments and I'm like, was that Jack Jarvis? So Tam's rolling about laughing and I'm like, what is it? And he's trying to tell me, and I'm like, I'm not getting this joke, and he's like, listening to it again, and I'm like, just listen. And then it was just that wee, right, that's us at the start, as if I'm ready to, and it was fucking Jack Jarvis's voice, and I'm like, who picks up on that shit? But we just were listening to it on. It was just so funny. But how no Chappie's door? Why go to his house? Like, for what?
I don't know.
That's mad,
Bravado.
isn't it?
I don't know. I try.
That's like somebody that doesn't like you turning up at your house and your birds answers his door and, hello, I'm Carol McGee, is Evan in?
He hasn't even went his door, like he's standing there and it's all this big build up. I'm travelling for Glasgow and I'm going in and next thing I'm like, right, you're there, like, what are you going to do? And
I'm
then
not
he
going to
just
kid
headed
you on, right?
back.
So I says to Jim, you know, sometimes people like the drama. I says, but I want to stay away from the drama. I really do, and be in my own lane, and that's fine. I says, you know what? I says, everybody's saying people love the drama to get Big Lee in. And he's like, oh, fucking stay back for him. He's a Fruit Loop.
It's that's the thing. Like we're always torn about getting him on because it's always so funny getting him on. But then there's so many things he's done where you're like, morally, is it right to get him
he's
on?
not well.
And it's like a weird thing because when you meet him, you're like, he's completely fine in a way, but then you see his actions.
You mean
like
he's
gone,
believable?
It goes to like, why would you drive to somebody's house at 2 a.m. and be like, I just want you to come
But
out
it
for
was
a
a
chat?
big build up.
Aye.
I'm at fucking Chappie's door.
I know.
It's like,
I
and
feel
then he
like-
heads home. I'm like, what you did?
I feel like having TikTok like was like Lee's like, I don't know. Just
I think after it
being
becomes a
obsessed-
character, didn't
being
they?
I know,
obsessed
but
with
see that in
TikTok
time when
along, it's like,
everybody,
just drive to
like
Perth.
Big Jasper and all that was coming, what colour's your knickers? And all that. That was funny, wasn't
know,
it? It's just some of the one-liners it comes out with is quite funny.
That's the thing. This is what amazes me with him, right? See if me or Jamie or anybody else on TikTok done the things he's done, nobody would even watch them anymore. But he's actually so weirdly likeable still somehow. You're like, Big Lee, man. Like there's something about him that you still love, and it's so weird. He could do anything and you're like, fucking Big Lee, man. Fucking love the guy.
He's the most guilty man with so much innocence. You know what I mean? Like he's got internal, like he's an innocent guy, but I think he's guilty in a few charges. You know what I mean?
Very
Like,
good. So apart from Big Dave, who would you like on?
I don't know if you know. Do you know who Beetlejuice is? Know the movie? It's a wee guy used to be on the Howard Stern show. He's a little person.
I don't even know if he's like an alien or a little person.
I don't know
like
what he's up to. I would love Beetlejuice on. Try to think more local.
Where's Beetlejuice for?
like,
America.
He's hilarious. Have you seen the meme? And it's like what are you doing here? And he's like, who, me? Nothing. Just hanging around. And it's like a wee guy. And he's like, you seen that? No, on TikTok?
I'd love him on.
I think I lead a very sheltered life. I think I'm in my own lane a lot of the times and I don't really see anything. I've got to go and look for them.
Know who I'd like? Darren Brown.
Who's that?
Get me in, man. Fucking love me. We'll get Darren Brown in, right?
What is he? Is he more a hypnotist?
He's like a hypnotist.
An illusionist.
Aye, and I don't know how he does what he does. I really don't. But you know, everybody. I know who he is, right? But I've never really. I think I watched one of his things once. I don't really watch telly. I don't know MD it does these days, right? But I watched one of his things once, and it was very good. The way he'd done it, the phone number, and all that at the end. I watched that one, right?
that.
And I thought that's pure class. And I was listening to him about the psychics and the mediums and what he was saying, and just sitting and I'm taking note. I was like, aye, mate, but no me. You know, like that.
What was he saying that it's like no,
basically saying that they're reading people's faces and all that. And
a power of suggestion.
A power of suggestion. But you can't suggest that there's a fucking teddy in a coffin. You can't make that up. These aren't the things that's on social media. And to come out with, like, there's ones on the day that I put up is to come out with, what's the 8th of June? Oh my God, that's the day my dad died. Where am I picking that up for? You know, it's like, how am I making that up? You know, so you need to look like, all right, we're not 100% accurate, but we can be, you know, and so I'm quite willing to be tested.
Aye. Some only, but I bet some are
There's a guy that was doing a film for his uni, right? And he was getting in a non-believer and a believer, and that was part of his thesis for his uni thing. He makes films, right? So he was doing a film about this. So he messaged me and he's like, Carol, can I interview you for this? And can you do me a reading? And then I'll say how it was. I'm like, I didn't bother. And he's like, what? I went, I didn't bother. And he went, I've asked about 10 mediums. I said, so I'm number 11, you fucking joking. And he went like, can I? And I went, aye. And they came into my office, filmed it and all that, done a reading for him, and told him the day his granny died, what time she died it and how she died. And he went like, that's the day my granny died. And I didn't even know I think I knew the guy's first name at the time. I'll be lying if it says who he is, but I think I knew his first name, and he just appeared in my office with 3 other guys and they all set up a film crew type thing, and they done that. And I said, so I want to see this documentary when it's finished. So they were getting somebody that was an absolute non-believer and to give their side, and then I was to give my side, and then whatever way he done it, I don't know. And he says, oh, I'll show you when it's finished, and I've never fucking seen it.
Oh, have you not?
Raging,
No way, man.
It's all done through Clydebank College. And so their lecturer had messaged me. He says, all right, if we do it, you know, we're going to use this. I went, I ain't bothered to learn. Don't care. So that's what I'm saying by I always put myself out there. And so like I sit on TikTok live and do these fucking live. So how can I go on somebody's Facebook when you and your granny, your mom, your sister and it's all sitting in a live and I pick one of these? So I can't possibly be on your Facebook page. I don't know who's coming in. And I always say to everybody that's coming in, if I've ever met you before, have I seen you at a show? Have I met you in person? Like, no, I've just come on. And so you hear people saying that, so that I just keep myself right.
Do you get people know what you're about, so why would they even come on to
I don't give a fuck anyway.
Do you get any like regulars? Like just every week, home
He's
and
an
away.
all one.
Home and away. I've seen you. I was there. Like now, like people that travel with bands and that. I've seen you there.
A groupie?
Aye.
Loads.
I do you actually?
Aye.
People just can't get enough of it.
Aye.
And is it like people that like, I never get seen that time? I'll do
no,
anything.
like somebody says to me recently, I was telling Debbie, somebody says to me recently, but you know, once you've seen you once, that's it, you've kind of seen you. No, it's fucking no, you know, every show is completely different. No 2 shows can ever be the same because everybody that comes to the shows have got a different story, or they've lost somebody that you know. So it's always going to be a different show. So some people say, I just love to watch you work. You know, I might not get a reading this time, but you're funny as fuck and I love it. And I like to hear everybody's stories. And so I do that. So now the thing is, online I have masses of subscribers now who sit and watch all my live shows because I have it for subscribers only. The reason I do that is so we don't, because I can't see who's online while I'm doing a live show, and I have it subscribers only, so there's no trolls.
Aye.
People that actually want to see the show, innit?
Aye. And obviously there's a couple of mods in there too. And so I have that going on.
You're prolific on the tickers, by the way.
By the way, do you see, know what I was going to ask you about?
What?
I'll just see if I like wake up during the night, go to the toilet, it'll be like 2:30 in the morning. You'll be on live. I'm like, how would you must stay up so late?
The coffee.
I just got my bed about that time.
Aye. I feel like you're on it quite late.
Aye, then you get a wee invite. I wake up like that to go to the toilet. I'm like, I've got a message, and I'm like, well, I've been invited. Carol's live at 3 o'clock.
Spirits have gave her a shit.
No, see if I've got a show on, right, I need about 2 hours to unwind.
Right,
it's like, see if you've been out at work, you can't just jump out of bed. Well, maybe you can, I can't, right? So I like to get home, put my feet up, take the shoes off, take the bra off, that's it, I'm home, you know, cup of coffee and all that, and chill out for an hour. And so TikTok, because I've built up, I'm still building up my TikTok. I've only been on for 6 months. That's me 6 months now, into it. I went onto TikTok when I went to Thailand, and so that's 6 months. So I'm still building up a platform. So in my head, when I went to Thailand, people tell me going to TikTok, I went, no, fuck it, I've not got any time, I've got enough going on with Facebook and all that. And so I decided I already will do it because I was on holiday, right? So I went to TikTok and I've no fucking left. So in my mind, I've gave myself to Christmas. I said in my own mind, if I've got 100,000 followers by Christmas, I'll stay.
You're getting there.
Done it?
More or less. As soon as I start getting million hit videos, I'm staying. Doing it. And so that's it, what I'm kind of doing in my head. People aren't stupid. You know, people come to my shows on the daft. People, see if you can work in Glasgow, you can work anywhere. People in Glasgow are brutal, right? I've seen them with other mediums, and it's like, see if you go to them, go, oh, I've got a granny here, her name's whatever, and they're like, talk shite, hen, sit down. You know, they just tell you straight, don't they?
That's true,
Ah, she's shite next.
There's nowhere else in the world that would give you it more straight.
And they know, they don't.
Aye.
You know, and so I think if you can work in Glasgow, you can work. I was working the Barras one time, right? The Barras, one of the toughest places to work in the Calton, right? So I'm in the Barras and I'm in a hoops pub and I'm in there.
Hoops bar?
No, I was in the one in the corner. Carol's place. Traders.
Traders
Traders
in?
Tavern.
That's the one I was thinking.
So I'm in Traders, right? And Carol's obviously bats for the other team, but we're just having a laugh. I'm in Traders, and years ago I used to get up and do a session, then I'd take another medium with me and I'd put them up at half time, like a half time act, then I'd go back on again. And so I was in there and I'm doing that, and then this other medium gets up who's a wee bit posh. She's like, oh hello, she says, I've got your mum here. No. Whatever, no. Whatever, no. And she's like, Carol. I'm like, fuck's sake, you're shite, get the other one on. And I'm like, and she's like, Carol, I can't work here. And I'm like, all right. I was like, listen, guys, she's obviously having that. And I got up and down the second half. But I remember that pub. Do you know how I remember it? I went to a woman, I says, look, don't take this the wrong way. I says, but your mum's just come in here and she says your dad was a coal man. And I said, I'm not want to offend you. And everybody's pissing herself laughing. She went, my dad was a coal man. Yeah. And so sometimes things like that come out, right? But people remember you, because if you're in Glasgow, you need to have banter. People will gel with you more if you can chat away to them.
Bit of patter. Goes a long way.
And obviously if you're sitting there and bored at your tits, you know what I mean, and I'm cracking a few jokes, you're like, oh, she's quite funny, I better note that one down.
Could you give us advice, because we're going to do a live show? Well, we've never done a live show, but we're going to do a live podcast.
So you're going to do a live podcast?
Aye.
Mate, I'll tell you, we're starting a live podcast.
Aye?
Yes, that'll be
That's what I've built mine for. Aye.
Oh,
so we're going to be doing it 3 days to start off with.
What do you mean
certain
3 days?
times. We're going to do live podcasts.
What, 3 days? Oh, 3 dates? Like
3 days a week.
3 days.
Do you mean live as in here, but live? Or
live in my own studio.
Right, so I'm talking about we're going to be on a stage.
Aye, like a show.
Aye, but you're obviously a pro, so we
Aye.
just want some advice, because we bit nervous.
Well, it's like being in the radio, you know, it's like always make sure there's no gaps.
Right.
So it's like when you're talking, you know, you just fill in. So when you're on the radio, you're not allowed to have gaps. You're not allowed to have a 3-second gap in the radio. You get penalised for it.
Yeah.
So I'm used to just filling in. And plus I've spoken the radio since I was a teenager. I'm actually a licensed amateur radio operator, and it's something I've been doing for since I was 13. And so I'm used to talking to people, filling in, talking shite, having a conversation starter, asking questions. I've always been a nosy bastard, you know, so just about being
Then when there's
yourself,
two
really.
of yous, it's easier as well, because if you see somebody, do you know what I mean? You can...
Did you know each other before you started the podcast?
Well, not really. No,
I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing here.
That was legit. That was like Jamie.
I'm not kidding. I'm like, this is your hang. Like, if you want rid of me, like, I'm no fast. I don't do TikTok.
Debbie's dead funny. She's dead quirky. She comes out with the, you know how I'll ask you matter of fact, and she'll be like, I know, but what did your bird have for a breakfast? You know,
but it's good
and
to have that,
funny.
it definite, because I was meant to do it just on my own.
Aye.
And then I had Jay, I was like, mate, you've got to do this first episode with me, mate. Just, I don't even know what to do. And then we done the first episode, and I was like, mate, why to just do
Why
this with
leave
me
now?
now?
Do you ever want rid of him and go like that? How dare this is awkward?
No way.
Because I
No,
say
there
to
would
her,
be-
don't be awkward. If you want rid of me, I'm no fast.
You asked me my
way.
dream guest. It was my dream
that's
guest
it.
every
Oh,
time.
really?
Kate,
There
who's
would
your
be-
dream guest? Karen?
You Debbie,
Peter
so
Tobin.
about you.
Get him on, by the way.
If you give me 2 minutes, I'll bring him in.
Is he dead? Is he dead?
For a split second there, you are like,
I kinda,
is she actually
kinda
for real?
thought. Peter Tobin would
I
love
can't
Reilly's
bring him
guy.
in, but his missus is here.
Aye, so you can't summon. Can you just summon a guy? You
can't do
nothing to
that.
do with me, nothing to do with Evan, nothing to do with Debs. Nothing to do with anything in
Unofficially.
this room. Can you just be like mad guy for
Officially, no, you're
Taiwan?
not allowed to conjure up a dead, right?
Because would they not
But-
need to come in for a reason? You're like,
Well, you know, to me, it's got to be for a reason, right? So it's like you sitting here saying, can you bring in my pal's dad because I want to ask him something. No, really, because he's nothing to do with you and I want to get involved, right? Can you ask for anybody to be brought in for your family that's no come through? Aye. Doesn't mean to say they'll come in, but I can try.
Get a bash.
So you're not allowed to conjure up the dead, but I'll try.
So could I say to you, could I be like, right, this person in my family, that's the only person I want to talk to, find them, want to have a chat with them?
I will try for you.
What, do it? No.
Right, who is it? Who's the person? We need to know.
Don't tell me anything about anything. If I'm going to do a reading, don't do it, because people might assume that he's told her or she's read it on Facebook. So don't say anything.
We'll wait to the
keep
pod.
Keep it. Hold on.
I'm excited, man. I keep getting weird shivers and that in here.
And here, same.
That's Paul's aftershave.
Do you ever get that? Just mad spooks, just like passing through.
Aye. Well, in the Drovers in.
Oh, fuck that.
Drovers in.
Aye, there's been
listen, we're going to have to do it. I wish they had that free in Halloween, but they're not going to.
Fuck, hell no.
But we'll try
but then
it.
it's Halloween, would that make a difference to a spooky place anyway?
That's when the veil's thinnest.
That's Christmas for
When you said Drovers there, I was thinking about the traders. I was like, plenty of people did in there. I thought you were getting spooky feelings in the traders.
There's another pub in Glasgow I done, and I walked in. I've not done it for a few years. It's changed hands now, but I walked in. It's in Mount Vernon, right?
All right.
So I went in there. It's an old pub there, and I went in. I done a show one night, and as I was there, and I was like, "Listen, it's going to sound pure weird, but there's a wee lassie just walked in here. She says she lives in here, and she's always been seen." And I described her, and you can see this table of lassies there, and the colours draining out their eyes. They're like, "Oh, I fucking told you." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "There was a guy in here. There was a funeral in here the other day. A guy came out the men's toilets and went like, here, that's not right. You can't have a wee lassie in there in the man's toilets." And they went, "What wee lassie?" And it turns out these people sitting at this table all worked in the pub, but I didn't know that. No, to me, they're just a table of women. And apparently that week there was a wee lassie that appeared, and they went in to check the guy's toilets and nobody there.
Oh, by the way.
It's always a wee creepy wee lassie in it. It's never like there's a big fucking guy in there. It's always like
Probably a wee toilet.
But that was like the Drovers, wasn't it? Because there's like a story to it. You should look it up before we go.
There is a story to it.
So there was like a wee 6-year-old, wasn't there? Like kind of drowned
drowned
and get
there.
brought there. And she died like, on the bed in room 6.
There's nothing scarier than a drowned 6-year-old
Well,
with the seaweed and that.
does.
That's so scary.
Oh,
It's a
there
bit
is,
pure
mate. There is
I've
Peter
never well
Tobin in your face.
Peter Tobin in the face. Maybe, what about a drowned Peter Tobin? But
oh no, drenched Peter Tobin. I don't want anything to do with
soaked to the
That
bone.
guy
Tobes.
just has a horrible face anyway, didn't he?
Aye.
All contorted
Do you know
and
I
all
couldn't
that.
even pick that guy out of a lineup? I don't know
Oh,
what
I
Tobin
could.
looks like.
He could
But that was a bit
pick you out
like
one,
when
mate.
did he die? When did he get?
Have you never done a lineup?
I've done one. No.
No, I mean, like, sometimes I remember one time the police stopped me in Clydebank and asked me if I wanted to go and pick
a lineup?
somebody out for a lineup.
Right.
I thought, but how can he?
Are we going there?
I've not heard a lineup used in that
that was
context since like school. P7 or something. Shit, man.
Like,
That's what I was thinking. I was like, that rings
that
a bell.
police lineup.
Aye.
Right,
Aye.
aye.
But
Carry on.
how can you get picked to do that if you had nothing to do with the crime?
I know, imagine the
Because
picture.
they just put random people in, right?
Oh,
It's
so
like
you-
saying,
you-
so you know when you get a lineup where somebody's done a crime and so it's like a police ID.
Uh-huh.
So there'll be like 10 lookalike Jamies all lined up
Aye.
against a wall.
Handsome
so they go.
fellas.
So if they can't get enough cops or staff or something to do, they go out in the street and look for somebody at 6 foot, your
Aye.
build, with a skip hat on,
Aye.
and then they'll line up 6 wee guys that all look like you and tell the witness to pick him out.
Did you get asked to do it?
Aye, if you know.
Did you done it? No, never
I
once.
did it.
That's
They
class.
picked
Where'd
me
you go
out.
into the police station?
Aye, they picked me out. I was the one that done it.
Did you know I just said I'll tell you who
I
fucking
know.
done it? I'm psychic.
Imagine that you were the actual criminal that had done it and you're like, you come and be in a lineup for this thing and you're like,
No, I'm wondering now we're talking about this. What about like you get picked for jury duty? Do you need to be like, it's kind of unfair on the criminals here because
Aye.
do you need to be clear of it?
Tarot cards and all that.
Aye, in the courtroom,
But
right?
mate, saving time. 10 year.
Just sitting like here, we don't even need to vote, it's guilty. I spoke to the guy. It was him that killed him.
Did you do that part? Like, I've been
Aye.
watching this programme, probably you might have watched it on Netflix, that Monsters about the two.
Aye.
So
I
could
know
you
watched
sit
it.
with them and go like, "You's killed your parents"?
Aye. Absolutely.
Why are they going to court then? Why don't they just get gagged?
If you watched so there's like a actual documentary
With
that's
the
come
real
out,
people?
and then so now that's a reenactment sort of series. They've just brought out on Monday there an actual documentary with the real footage and all that, and see the difference in that show to then what the actual story is nuts, because like you start realising like they were going through, they shouldn't have killed their parents.
So you kind of sitting in the fence after you watch the real one?
But they like basically like they were being sexually abused since they were 6.
Were they?
But one of their aunts went up and testified and said that when they were 8, one of them told her about it, and she went to the mum, and the mum was like, "Oh, you're making it up."
Leave it. Because near the start kind of thing, I was all for them when they came out with the stories that the dad with the toothbrush and all that. And then I was like, oh, fuck me, one of they killed them. But then nearer the end of it again, they were making it look, when they were talking to the guy that was driving the boat and all that, and he was like, no, the Waynes were fine, the mum and dad. Like, I can't believe they went home and shot them that night.
Who knows, man?
Sorry, guys.
They killed them.
The only thing I've seen about it, I've seen something on Twitter saying that they're a pair of gay icons. They're queer icons.
Well, I thought the two of them they had a weird relationship, because I was like, I feel as if a few times
These
I
guys
thought they
might
were
be
going
gay.
to lynch.
Aye, well, I won't ruin it for the documentary, but there's a bit of that.
A bit like Uncle Jim and his sister.
Oh, aye.
I was like, there's something weird with they two.
Aye.
You can watch
Thank
it.
God I've not seen it. I can't watch it.
Can I ask you something else, please?
Go.
So
This is turning into an interview with me.
no, but it's good. It's just a conversation.
There's
It's good.
going to have to be a part
We
2
don't
for
want a
this.
3-second fucking.
This is your last one, and then it's your turn.
Right, okay. So there was while we're talking about the police, there was a time where I thought I was going to get arrested. I was in a bit of a scuffle after like an 18th one night, and I won't say who because I don't want to ruin my reading, but I asked somebody who has passed away, I said, please don't let me get to jail here. I don't, and somehow, because I definitely should have get to jail,
Right, okay.
but I didn't, and like the police were just like, oh, Q's just got up the road. And so what do you think about maybe people like me who don't get things to spirits, but do you think that I could connect with somebody, or is that just in my brain?
I'm right into manifestation. It's the same thing, right? So your thoughts are real thoughts, and so I can manifest quickly, right? I've manifested hundreds of things, including Brad Pitt, right? So I've been in magazines and all that. Front page, centre page with Brad Pitt, manifested it. You know, I've manifested on. I've got stories that would make your toes curl, right? Ooh. That you probably wouldn't believe. But so I'm right into manifestation. So I think that you saying that is you're putting the thoughts out to the universe, saying like, fuck, see, don't let me get to jail here. I've got better things to be doing with my life, you know, and in future I've learned my lesson. I'll never put myself in that place again. And so that would have been your thoughts. No, like, don't jail me. It's like, fucking hell, if I get out of this, I'm never doing this again. So, you know, they would have helped you.
That's
why
repenting.
not?
You repented instantly.
Because instantly you've thought, wow, man, what am I doing
So do we
here?
have guardian angels?
Aye.
I say we've all got guardian angels, absolutely, 100%. And I know that because I've seen them, because I've died and come back twice. I had meningitis just before I turned 8, and I died. I had severe septicemia. They told my mum I would probably wake up in a vegetative state. If I did, then I would be lucky if I had my limbs, because sometimes children get their limbs cut up because they go all black with septicemia. And so I've known, I've lived to tell the tale. But while I died, I was in a coma, and they brought me back. But while I was there, I was in a field playing with my guardian angel, who told me I was just to sit there and play the new, and I wasn't staying there. I was going home soon.
Aye.
And who is it?
It was at that particular
Did it come in
time.
person
It
form?
was a female type nurse person looking after me.
That's a good
But I
angel
knew,
to have.
aye, and it was good. And I've seen that person a few times since in various situations.
What, are they alive?
I've seen them in my mind's eye, and I've seen them when I've been sleeping. There's hundreds of stories. Hundreds.
Bless 'em.
Save them for the drovers.
Aye.
I think we will, eh? Do you
Aye,
think they two crap themselves in there?
I'll
Aye,
have a
where
fucking
was she,
taxi
man?
waiting outside.
Where was this nurse woman up the Drovers?
I
She's
give her,
left
can
for
she
dead.
stay with us that night?
Aye, you give us a shot of her for a night.
We'll give you Toby.
You're not going to be allowed if you start talking about fucking his
Your wife's
missus.
not going to let you. You're not allowed to go. You're not allowed to interview a stripper, and you want to spend the night with a nurse. Behave yourself.
Guardian angel, but
Have you got a girlfriend?
I do, aye.
All right, okay. Okay, so have you been together? Have you got children?
No.
All
no,
right,
I'm still
no
a young
yet.
pup in my head. No.
Two years old, like two birds half boys then, still
Aye.
enjoying life.
I think, but now I'm at the age where if my pal tells me my bird's pregnant, I say congratulations instead of, oh, fuck, mate.
I done
Know
it
what I
today.
mean?
I done it today. My
Aye.
pal said he's having a wee, and I was like, mate, brilliant, so proud of you. Congrats.
Aye.
It used to be like, sorry,
We got a day.
Where am I getting the money from? Fucking hell. I know, I've been there, done that, and wore the t-shirt. Obviously, I'm a lot older now. My wings are growing up. My baby's 21. Do you know what I mean? But one's at the house and the other one's still kicking about. Can't get rid of him. But I want to change them for the world. So you're looking forward to going to do your podcast then? And so it's going to be a live podcast on the stage in front of an audience.
Have you sorted
It's gonna
it?
be an
Have you booked somewhere?
extravaganza.
No?
No, so the plan was to get that sorted, and then this is mad, but we actually used to do our podcast for about 2 months in a barber's right across the Traders Tavern. How weird's
Aye,
that?
okay.
So
A psychic or something.
that's weird. And then we had
connected.
and then we had to leave there, and that's what kind of forced us into getting our own studio. So we've been dealing with that so much that we've kind of no time to be like,
So when is up and running?
Well, we've done our part.
We've done our
Let's
part.
say that. We're waiting
Right.
for the landlord to do bits and bobs.
aye, we moved into there and they were like, aye, room's brilliant, aye. They said there's a wee problem with the electricity, but it'll get sorted, and we'll let right. And they were like, don't move in until it's sorted, but we don't want you to move in until it's sorted. And I was thinking, just let us move in and we'll design it all, and then it'll get sorted when it gets sorted, but it's still not sorted. So it's fully designed, ready to go. But I mean, we bought a 20 metre extension cord and like, ran it for their kitchen, and it's like an office building, ran it for their kitchen into a room just to see lights and that on. So that's all we're waiting on, but once that's up, we're to the
What are you
moon.
going to do if they don't sort the electricity?
Well, we've got another like, backup studio that will be
They've
used.
gave us-
But if you
You don't
decorated
get a wee
the first
generator?
one,
Aye.
The first studio, the one that we're actually meant to be in, that it's all decorated. But he said for now, you can use a room up the stairs, and it's double the size of the room that we've actually got. So it's been all right, but it's not decorated. So we just use a
does that
green.
get electricity?
Aye, that's hunters. But
Plenty.
Shift your arse and get in there then.
I know.
but it's that way where we just use like a green screen in there and then put ourselves in like a rainforest or something, because it's no decorated. So, but we also don't want to bring up everything that we've decorated our room with up there, and then when we do get in there, it's a pure, oh well, fucking everybody's seen it already. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
But I don't know. Hopefully,
So
it'll
who's
be
your
soon.
first person going to be?
Egyptologist? No?
Maybe we're talking to a woman who is like an expert in ancient Egypt. We're dying to get her in, man.
Holly's in
that'd
the
be
ancient
interesting.
Egypt. She
That'll
used
be a
to
good
get
episode for
everything.
you. I was texting her the day, but it's just waiting in the studio. But we're planning to get her, planning to get you in.
See, folk, that's interesting
Aye.
because you don't want. I know what you mean when people say you get this sheen and that, and it's like the big people that everybody's watching. But I think things like that are more interesting.
Aye.
Just we random people
Feel
don't
like-
know everybody's getting on.
Exactly, because like I think it's more about the topic than the person.
Aye,
'Cause
it gets your mind thinking.
even if people on TikTok, like you can look at TikTok and go, fuck's sake, get 250,000 followers.
Aye.
You get them on a podcast and nobody will care.
But I'm not being noting, see, even though people have got 250 followers, like I know you are pure into your TikTok and all that, but I just think, to me, that means nothing. Everybody's
Aye.
a person. Like, no harm, somebody could have 250,000 followers and not be as interesting as a wee random that's just, do you know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
just people that have got, and somebody like that's fucking interesting.
Aye, definitely,
I'll
man.
listen to that.
Because that's something we're mad about, like ancient
and it makes
civilizations
you think
and that.
about stuff
I
and all
love
that.
that stuff, man. Ancient Egypt, Rome, and
There's another guy like on that topic. We've still not actually properly figured it out, but I'm listening to a book now, and it's called The Rise and Reign of Mammals. Right? I forget what the guy's called, but I remember when I looked him up. He like studied at like University of Columbia and like Penn State and all that in America. He's like an American
Right.
dude, but he's a lecturer in Edinburgh Uni. And I just
Right.
found that out the other day. So I was like, he's an absolute
Aye, he's
wonder
probably got hundreds of knowledge, you know what I mean?
An anthropologist that just knows everything about mammals and humans and that.
he might go to Hingy's gym, Brian's gym.
Honestly.
It might.
Could do.
I hope so.
I'm not trying to be funny, but everybody knows Brian. Oh, he's in there every night,
Well, good start.
religiously.
First Davy Hutton and then the Rise and Rain of Mammals guy.
I mean, you tell me his
on it,
name.
people.
Show
You
me a
might even know
picture.
his name.
The Rise and
Rise
Rain
of
of Mammals guy.
Are you the Rise of Mammals
Here's
guy?
here's a picture of him then, and I'll say to me,
I will.
look them out.
Look.
Brian's got a wee hat last.
Brian, get
Other
him,
guys.
sneak up with him,
Jim
chat to
Fuller
him.
podcast.
I'd be so weird seeing a guy in the gym walking about with pictures of people like that.
You'll know the Rise and Rain of Mammals guy.
I know.
That'd be good.
Well, anyway, thanks very much for
Loved
coming along. It was great to meet you. Honestly, you're two nice guys, and I can't wait to share an attic with you.
Oh man.
A night in the drover, baby.
And I think we'll hear them screaming, eh, Debbie?
Aye.
I think we'll hear them
You don't hear
screaming.
me first.
And we'll need to put that on and TikTok that maybe. But anyway, thanks very much for coming on to our
Thanks, guys.
podcast, and we look forward
Thanks
to
for
seeing
having
you
us.
again.
Thank you.
Evan and Jamie, thanks very much. Anyway, thanks for joining us for this interesting episode with Reilly's Gaff. Go and give them a follow, check them out, and check out this anthropologist and all these other guests they're having on. Thanks very much, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Cheers. Bye.